I have a
happened with the
friend.
source, bro. There you go.
I have a friend who he's living with his parents right now. He's also 19 actually. He's like my best friend probably. And his parents have like a window shop, a window like fucking like they're like window sellers or whatever. So he's currently working at that, and he's investing in a bunch of shit, and he's like planning to take over the company. That's how he's starting his financial journey. But he has like very similar goals to you, I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you
Yeah.
got to pace yourself.
Yeah, bro, but I was conditioned for the run. I'm strong. You know what I mean?
I
I
guess
mean,
so.
he
I mean,
said
I'm pretty
5 years.
strong too, but like I train jujitsu. I just ran a half marathon today, but it's my opinion that you got to pace yourself. I think a lot of young guys they want to go all hard and then they get frustrated and they give up. I think if you back off a little bit and like try to think long term, you'll actually be more successful. But that's just my
I
opinion.
think you know what. That's actually some. Because I actually recently I've been kind of thinking that like because I've been kind of less productive and stuff than I would like to be, and I was thinking like maybe I should just set smaller like goal. Like if I the thing is then I feel like fuck. I have 16 hours and I just work 3. Like I would think that would
Yeah. Yeah.
just be
Well, what
horrible, but
works
I
for
end up
me,
doing
for
that pretty much
example,
anyway. And
I do this thing called 75 hard. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I have. Like,
Yeah,
keep explain.
and so it's helped me a lot because I used to just kind of work sort of sporadically, and like my workouts used to be maybe harder on like a daily basis, but now I think like across a 75-day span, and I found that when I set smaller goals but for a longer period of time, I'm actually able to get a lot more done.
So, what do you mean by that? Smaller goals for longer. So, over 75 days, you set smaller goals, or what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah. For example, I mean, you could look at any of the individual goals and say like it's not all that much. Like, for example, I train jujitsu, and there are guys who
Um,
train maybe 2 or 3 times a day, but I'm just training once a day. But I'm training every single day for 75 days, in addition to reading and writing and lifting and running and stretching, um, working a full time job. So I found that like you got to make goals manageable in terms of their size if you're going to have like long term productivity.
I think that's quite sensible. Yeah.
But it's like you're not in really a competitive space like that. That's the difference. Like for me, at least, compared to my field, it's like you you're only really battling with yourself when it comes to jujitsu. Obviously, you're fighting other people, but
I
in
compete.
terms
I
of your
mean, I
development
compete
and
too.
journey,
I compete.
but you're competing. I mean, okay, but you're competing is not like you're not like trying to be pro or anything, right?
Well, I don't know. See, that's actually an interesting question because I used to think, like, because I've kind of gotten into it later in life, I used to think, like, probably that won't happen. But there are guys in my gym who are earning a full time living in jujitsu and they're not even pro. Like, they compete and they teach and they, like, work in the gym, and that's their full time job and that's what they're doing. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be like getting all my money from competitions, but I think there are other ways to earn money in jiu-jitsu than like I previously thought.
Yeah. No, I feel you, but that makes sense. But in the sense of at least me, self improvement things. But see, I gotta change the way I talk. I'm poisoning my own mind. I love what I do. Actually, I actually love reading and working out. But anyway,
So what is your hustle?
um,
What are you focused on?
I have my own business.
Okay, cool. What do you do?
I have a marketing agency.
Interesting. So how
Yeah.
does that work?
Um, I like. What do you mean?
So you have a marketing agency. What exactly does that mean?
Oh, okay, okay. I help solar companies get clients, pretty much. Like I generate leads for them, and then I turn those leads into appointments for them.
That's cool. I've thought about doing, well, it's kind of related to that. Well, not related, but similar. So I currently work in property management, and
Oh,
this guy,
cool.
yeah, this guy I know was telling me about Airbnb property management. Basically, you find
Hmm.
people and you convince them to rent their property as an Airbnb, and you just tell them I'll handle all of the turnover, basically. And apparently, you can make pretty good money doing that. So yeah, I've thought about doing that.
Yeah, sounds pretty similar to what I'm doing in a sense. Like you outreach to people, but I mean that has I don't know exactly how that works. But anyway, my my thing, what I was trying to say is basically, fuck, bro, I'm fucked up. But anyway, thing I was trying to say is like in a competitive field like this, and in my business and stuff, is like when you're not super productive, it's like that. People take your lunch, they take your potential clients, all that bullshit. They're taking space. Like I'm really fucking up right now, honestly, and I need to be better. But
So
yeah,
one thing I've found, and this is something I said before, is that like,
yeah,
especially when I was younger, I would get like sporadic bursts of motivation, and like I'd work really hard, and then I'd like basically get frustrated and fall off. And I guess
yeah,
as I've gotten older, I've learned to kind of pull it back a little bit and like stay productive over like a longer period of time. Um,
yeah.
I actually that's
Okay.
kind of been a conscious thing too, because like as I've gotten more into running, it like I'm trying to teach myself to like be patient and like not get frustrated and quit. Um, so that's been like a conscious decision too.
Yeah, I'd say that I'm gonna do that. You know, what? You've convinced me, bro. I'm gonna start doing that.
Do
I'm gonna sacrifice the short term gain. No, cause what it is, it's like I'm trying to like fucking do so much, but then it's like over 6 months, over a year, I probably end up doing less because I'm trying to go so hard in a week that then the next week maybe I don't do as much or like you know what I mean, rather
yeah.
than just consistent. So I think you're right.
Do
I'm
you
gonna
find
start
that to be
doing
the
that.
case? Do you feel like your motivation and your productivity like it's like up one week and down the next?
Yeah, but I think it's longer than a week. Like I think it's like this past well, I was sick, but that's kind of an excuse in a way. But anyway, I was sick, like pretty bad sick, but like I noticed that like I'll have months where I'm like, okay, bro, this is what I have to do. This is my life's purpose. I'm going in and I just work, and I'm making videos. I'm going hard. And then I'll have times where I'm like, bro, why am I even doing this, man? Fuck, I just want to quit, shit like that. Like right now, I'm kind of feeling like that
Mm-hmm.
in a way. I'm just like bullshit. I'm on Tinder, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. I'm not really working as hard as I should be.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? So
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe you could try. So what I do is I do 75
yeah,
hard and like I add goals onto it. So maybe you could do something like that and like come up with some metrics for your work. Like I'll make X number of videos a day. And maybe it's a little bit less, but it's like if you could do that over 75 days, it would be like a really good solid chunk of work.
yeah, yeah.
I
It
love
does
this
make
app,
sense.
dude. I tell everybody about it. It's like helped me be so much more productive cuz it
What? Which one?
75 hard. So
Oh,
it's an
that's an app. I thought that was just like a challenge.
no, so it's an app on your phone and it gives you 6 daily goals. And I kind of view it like a metronome, like cuz maybe you've noticed this, like the more goals you accomplish, like you kind of get more motivation and like you keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So like having those little daily goals that I hit every single day, it just like it
I'm
keeps
buying
me
it.
focused.
Is it the one with the spade with the 75?
Yeah.
I'm buying it right now. $7.
Wait, don't
One
buy
time.
it.
Fuck it. Don't buy it. Oh, I just bought it.
Wait, I did. I'm like 99% sure I didn't pay for it. Were you doing it on the App Store?
It's the one with the spade and the 75, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember paying for it.
It's one time payment. You probably did pay for it. Or is it 75 days challenge fitness? Nah, that's not it. You
No.
said a spade and the 75.
Yeah, it says the official app of 75 hard. Maybe I did pay for it. I don't know. It's worth
Yeah,
it
you
though.
must have.
Even if you got to pay
Maybe, or maybe it
$7.
was free at some point, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But hey, it's only $7 one time payment. I don't really care. Who cares? Fuck. I paid $12 for Chick-fil-A, some food that's bad for me, so I'll
Right.
pay $7 for something that's good for me.
Yep, it's a good app. You ever tried
I
jujitsu?
believe you, bro. Yeah,
You've tried it?
I did. I wouldn't really say I tried it. I guess I did like a free thing. It's too expensive for me right now. I was gonna do it. Obviously I listen to Joe Rogan and all of them. It seems like a lit thing, but it's way too expensive.
Yeah, if you live, like I've got family that lives on the East Coast, and there's like not a lot of jujitsu.
So
Yep, yep.
it's like the cheapest one was like the cheapest one's actually kind of close to me. It's right near my actual gym. It's like 115 a month.
Oh, that's not too
That's the
bad.
cheapest. But yeah, I know that's honestly not too much, but just in my position in terms of like my business and all that shit. Once I hit like 6K per month, I'll probably do it.
6K.
But I did
Wow.
this, yeah, something like that. Cause well, each client is 2K, so there's only two more clients. So
Okay, gotcha.
anyway, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I did rock climbing though last week. It was actually pretty fun. I think I'd rather might do rock climbing than jujitsu, honestly.
Okay. Wait, did you say you get paid 2,000 per client?
Yeah,
And so that's what, 2,000 a month?
yeah, per month.
Interesting. And so how much time do you think it takes to work on that like how many hours per month?
I mean, it took me a year, or that's probably like probably about a year to get this first client. But
Okay.
there's so much shit I needed to learn and like, so it's not like in reality, if I start from today, it might take me another month or 2 months to get another client. Matt,
Plus the year that you spent to get like
exact,
right, I see.
yeah, yeah, like learning fucking how to do outreach. What is outreach? What is it? Like all these business terms and all this bullshit. Not bullshit. See, I keep saying that. It's not bullshit, but learning all
I see what you're
this
saying.
knowledge. Yeah.
So do you listen
Honestly.
to Destiny?
No, not anymore. I try not to consume content really because it poisons my brain.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
I have watched him in the past though. Cool guy. I fuck with him.
he's interesting. He's got an unconventional lifestyle. I'll say that.
What's his like with his girlfriend?
Yeah, like his kid lives in another state, and his girlfriend, like,
He's a kid? I didn't even know that.
yeah, like his kid lives in another state, and his girlfriend like gets banged by a bunch of other
Yeah.
unconventional. Yeah,
He's a cuck.
I guess he
Pretty
is.
much. What about you, man? Do you exercise, go to the gym, or you just do BJJ?
Yeah, I do something called hybrid training. You may have seen a guy named Nick Bear. You know who that is?
Nah, I don't.
Oh, okay, he's pretty big on social media, but it's yeah, it's basically just lifting and running in the same program.
Mm. Yeah, running school. I did running for a little bit, but it's kind of not a. I don't know. Where do you run at? You run in nature, or do you run like on the streets and sidewalks and shit like that, or both?
A little bit of both. I live in a city where there's like good nature, so it's kind of a combination.
Yeah,
But I just did a half marathon today. It's brutal.
I'm a slit. What's the half marathon? 13 miles.
13.1, yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive, bro. That shit's tough. Running is tough, bro. That shit's all mental.
I know. You know David Goggins?
Yeah, I fuck with Goggins.
Yeah. Read his books, man. They're good.
Yeah, I didn't read it. I read like the beginning of the one where his dad owned a casino and he was getting abused and they fucking all that bullshit happened.
Right.
Or not a casino, it was a
Roller
skating rink.
skater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I want to be like David Goggins. That's what I want to be like.
But wait, I don't understand. You don't work out though.
Beer back. Yeah, I do. Beer back.
You want to be like Goggins in other ways, right? You'd be like the Goggins of writing or something.
I guess so, but then it's not really Goggins, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I guess part of it is the actual physical pain.
Right. That is
think.
pretty much his
I
thing.
bet.
Yeah.
No, I do exercise. I exercise every day or 6 days a week.
Okay, cool. What do you do?
Push, pull legs. It's like a split. Oh, weightlifting.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Yeah, hitting them weights. But I just mean like mentally, just the mindset of like going hard every day and not giving up and just being a fucking dog.
Right, it's good stuff.
Yeah, but I'm gonna build up to it.
Fucking dog.
You got that dog.
You know David Goggins?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
It's my uncle.
It's what?
Sick.
So that's my uncle.
Very funny.
Priscilla, and welcome to the 75 Hard Act.
All right, I'll watch it.
Guys heard of Jocko?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He's badass, man. Just got a pop-up ad about him.
Block, bro.
Have you heard of Alex Hermosi?
No, who's that?
That's what I look up to. He's like a business guy. He's like the GOAT of this online business shit right now.
How old is he?
It's like 32.
Okay.
He's doing like 100 M's right now. Something like that. 200, 200. I think 200 now.
You think he's a fraud?
Obviously, nah, he's just like, he's known. You could look him up and stuff. Private equity of Gym Launch. He started like 3 six-figure, or not six-figure, 8-figure businesses or
his
9-figure,
name?
some shit like that. Alex Hermosi.
How do you spell the last name?
Hormozi. Nah, he got his stripes. Like he's well known, well loved, well
Well respected. You know, it's funny.
Pretty much.
As soon as I hear about like these internet money guys, although I know that there is validity to it, I automatically just think it's bullshit. But I know people are out there doing it, but I just associate it with like scams,
courses,
and frauds.
scams. Yeah. It definitely does have that like aftertaste of like there was a lot of scammers, and there still even is scammers now that kind of just sell you on how to sell, or like sell you on like the concepts and shit like that, but they never really did it themselves. But this guy, like, he had a gym business, he had a supplement company that he made with his gym business, and then he had a software business. So like he before he even did, now he has like an investing business and shit. But
It just sounds too good to be true. Like a lot of the stuff you see on like TikTok and stuff, they're like, let me teach you how to make 6 figures a month, bro. All it takes is X, Y, and Z, and that's all you got to do.
yeah, it's because that's called an offer. So when you're trying to attract potential customers, because that's what they're doing, they have a course that they're selling or some sort of product they're trying to sell you. They have to make an offer that speaks to a specific market. So if you're a person that wants to make 6K per month and you hear, hey, I can make it easily, I'll do it. But like, I've bought in those courses, right? And they do teach you a lot of good stuff, but it's not like you make 10K a month by just doing this. It's like, no, you just do this. It's like saying, yeah, you just got to run a marathon. It's like, no, you don't just run a marathon. You got to fucking train for months, learn how to breathe properly, learn how to run properly, this, get shoes, yada, yada. You know what I mean? There's like fucking years of preparation for it. But yeah, you do just do this technically. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think probably the best route is you have like a stable main source of income, and you like learn how to invest the money that you get. Seems like that's the best of both worlds, right? Like once you get a little money, you start investing it, then you can, I don't know, start taking more risks, start doing more unconventional stuff. But it seems like having like a, you know, like a very stable long-term income is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, again, the best way is kind of like a subjective. Best way for someone who just wants to be a regular person and not be rich would just be to not even invest and just chill. You know what I mean?
It's good.
Someone who wants like me, I mean, in my 20s. I ideally want to do
How old
about
are you
like
now?
23, 24. I'm 19.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I
But
do respect that. If like
yeah,
again, guys are out there doing it, but it's just pretty rare.
yeah, yeah, 100%. You gotta take chances, man. You gotta take the risk if you want. Like it, I would 100% fail if I don't do it. Right, I'd 100% fail. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather take a 1% chance of being able to do it than take a 100% chance of failing.
Right. Seems like if you could find a good mentor who is like a no bullshit, self-made, incredibly successful dude, that seems like a really good way to do it.
Yeah, that would be nice, but it's not. It's difficult to find those guys. Find like a mentor, unless you know someone in real life, because no one wants to just like randomly just mentor you.
Just give you all the knowledge.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like a one-way transaction.
Like a little leech.
Yeah, and especially in the online space when like everyone's fucking 20 and 30. It's not like a 6-year-old guy just trying to pass down some knowledge, because the 6-year-old guys are fucking own construction businesses, rough and tough kind of people.
Although that is kind of what Jocko's doing. He's like in his 50s and he definitely caters to the young audience. He makes a bunch of content. He's all over YouTube and stuff.
Oh yeah, look, he got his own thing. He has his own subscription. See how much it costs.
Who, Jocko?
Yeah,
Subscription for what?
his podcast, exclusive content. So it's not really, I guess, knowledge, but he's selling his media for $8 a month. Not pretty cheap, and he probably got like thousands of people. So
He's got a bunch of
doing
free
good.
content too.
No, yeah, I see his YouTube. That's kind of like the model for like the online business shit. Is like you post free content online, you try to provide as much value as you can, and then you you sell like a course or something that like in because they see you already provided so much free value, people just want to pay you type shit. That's kind of how the online space goes.
Right.
Have you ever did rock climbing though, or like indoor rock climbing, not like rock climbing?
A little bit.
Do you like that?
Yeah, it was cool. I don't see myself. I couldn't see myself investing as much time as like into working out or doing jujitsu. But yeah, maybe in the future I do it like every now and then. I just think being in shape and being able to like defend yourself, it's like one of the most important investments you can make in yourself.
You might as well just invest in a gun
Well,
instead
that
of
too. I mean, that too for sure, but you're not always gonna have your gun.
yeah. Nah, yeah, being able to defend yourself. But don't you think boxing might be a little more applicable than BJJ?
I mean, I'll put it to you like this: it's an open conversation. You get people very strongly on both sides. You know, the strikers will say in a street fight you don't want to go to the ground, and that's true. But the grapplers will point at like the early UFCs where you had a bunch of individual discipline fighters, like boxers versus wrestlers versus jiu-jitsu guys, and the jiu-jitsu guys just fucking dominated like every time. So yeah, I mean, one thing I'll say about jiu-jitsu though is you can train 99% every single day, but with boxing you can't really go that hard all the time. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it might just come down to a personal preference, but personally, I just feel like I can get like way more into jiu-jitsu as like a long-term investment. But I do want to box more though, because I've recently had I've like seen some fights around me in the street, and like it would be good if you didn't have to like clinch with them, didn't have to go to the ground, and you could just like stay on your feet and keep fighting. That's pretty important.
Yeah, yeah, because it's risky. Like if there's multiple people, if they fucking start stomping on your head or something, or
Right.
even like in a certain environments, like you're not gonna be able, like if you're in a club or something, or like some environment like that, you're not gonna just be able to grapple some guy. Probably just gonna have to fucking knock his tooth out real quick, and then
Yeah, and it's also good, I think, if you can kind of defend yourself while still being able to disengage and run away if you have to. But
Yeah.
yeah. As soon as you start grappling with this dude, and then his friends roll up, that's probably not a
Yeah.
good thing,
Yeah, stomp on your head. Yeah, I heard Andrew Tate say that.
right?
But have you heard this guy named Elisha Long on YouTube?
No.
Oh, I think you fuck with him. He's kind of like you. He's pretty much you.
Okay. What? How do you spell it?
Elisha space Long. Do you believe in God? You like a Christian?
Probably agnostic.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you
don't-
definitely love this guy.
Let's see here.
Yeah, he's like a BJJ. Like he has a community of guys like all trying to improve and be better. He's like a BJJ guy. He's like a manly, like masculinity kind of dude.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, cool guy. I'm in this group with these guys, but I don't ever join that shit. I paid one time, I never paid again, and I'm still somehow in it. So
I'm
Worth
real careful about paying for stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there are all kinds of beneficial groups out there, but I don't know. Maybe that's me just being stingy, but I just feel like I'm gonna get scammed.
yeah, that is definitely a mindset that a lot of people have on the internet of like just everything just seems like a scam. Like, oh, this is probably a scam. But once like ever since I paid my first like $1,500 course, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I just started spending money. A lot of shit really isn't a scam, bro. A lot of shit is
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's maybe part of it is I just don't feel like a little bits like choice overload. I'm like, once you start paying for shit, how do you like? There's so many fucking options out there of valuable stuff. Like, I don't know. I
And
just
there's
tend to stick to free stuff, I guess. I probably should pay for Jocko's though, because like, I know for sure that he has good stuff to say.
yeah. I want to say what Krill's. I think you're about to talk, or someone's gonna talk. I want to hear you.
well, there's only really like a few things that people are usually interested in to buy. At least for me, I guess.
Well, I would say this, right? Well, actually, what are those things that you're talking about?
I don't know, like books, video games, stuff like that. That's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, after like the necessities you need, like there's not much, right?
Well,
Yeah,
I feel
but-
like some people
so-
who write and make videos, they often put up like a what's it called, a paywall. And that's something I've considered doing. There are a few podcasters who I follow, and I've considered, buying their exclusive content.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. You decide what you want to buy based on who do you like, right? Like when I bought this guy's $1,500 thing, I didn't just randomly look him up and just buy it. I watched like all of his videos. I was like, damn, this guy's legit as fuck. He's already helped me so much. And then I bought it, right? And a lot of his videos were funnels to make me buy it too, which I didn't realize at the time. But regardless, he did provide a lot of value. So like you just find people you like, and if they're selling something that you want, you just buy it, and it's usually worth it. Depends, obviously. Do research and shit. Don't just be an idiot.
Right.
But it also depends what type of shit you consume. Like if you consume business content, likely they're gonna have a course. But if you're consuming fucking, Jocko, like they're probably just gonna have like some like Patreon exclusive content, like nothing like expensive, like $10.
I think probably Jocko has like tiers. Like I'm sure you can. Well, actually, I know that to be the case because he does do like private coaching. Dude, I heard this
Mhm.
guy got paid $80,000 an hour to go and speak. You believe that shit?
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Like
people get
he'll
paid a
go and
lot
speak to
more.
a company for an hour, and they'll pay him fucking $80,000.
Yeah, that's what they do for like what's that guy like Wolf of Wall Street guy, Jordan Belfort shit.
Right.
Like they people would pay $10 million to talk to Jeff Bezos for an hour for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like big fucking people.
Wait, who is Jocko? He's the Navy SEAL guy who's like take a cold shower.
Yeah, big ass, strong fucking looking guy.
Wait, what does he say?
His whole
He
idea
says,
is
"Get off your ass."
discipline equals freedom. That's the main thrust of what he has to say.
Yeah, it's just how
Basically,
you get that.
Martial arts, fitness, self-improvement, leadership, stuff like that.
My question, I guess, is like, what is discipline? Because okay, go.
Well, it's like it's to do what it's to do what you want in the long term, right? So you set a long term plan, and discipline is how you stick is how good you can stick to it.
But ready, check this. What if you have two people, right? One person is setting simple, easy goals and they're accomplishing them 100%, but one person is setting, we'll just use numbers. One person is setting 10 and he completes 100%. The other person's setting 100 and he completes 70%. So this guy completed 70, this guy completed 10. Who's more disciplined?
Well, discipline, I would say it's like how much of your time or effort you're putting into it, right?
I don't know.
So
It's hard with these kind of hypotheticals. Like there are other questions you'd have to ask, right? Like, are the goals similar in terms of significance? Like the guy.
Yeah, they're all equal. Everything equal. It's just this person has 10 and this person has 100, but he only completes 70 out of the 100. The guy completes 10 out of 10.
I'd
Who would
probably
you
say
say is a more
Probably the guy who did 70.
right?
Because even if your process is imperfect, maybe you decide to take on a little bit more volume than you can handle, and you're aware of that, knowing look at it like serving tables. Let's say one guy needs to do each table perfectly, so he only takes 10 tables over the course of his shift. But the other guy, well, I guess that's not the best example because then the quality of service is different, so they might get different tips. But the point is, if you could take on larger volume knowing that the quality's not going to drop, then, I mean, for sure you should do that, right?
Yeah. Because that's kind of like my question. Because it's like by anyone else's, metric, I would be productive. But like for me, I'm not that productive because I have for me and myself at least, myself because I have fucking
Just unsatisfied.
exact. Like I feel like working out. Like for me, I wouldn't consider doing a workout a productive thing. I do it every day. It's not like a thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're going a little far with that, though, right? Because it is, maybe it's like your baseline normal productivity, but it's still like an inherently productive activity, right?
Well, yeah, it is that productive, but I don't it's not like, oh, I worked out today, I feel good. It's just like, okay, I worked out. I don't not work out, I just work out. You know what I mean? I don't never think about not working out. I just do it no matter what.
How do you get to that stage?
I don't know. I just like doing it though. That's probably why.
Wait, how long have you?
I think it comes from being consistent over an extended period of time. I'm the same way now where, when you first start working out, it's tough, but like your body does get used to it, and you do get used to, it becomes part of your circadian rhythm, basically, like your diet, your sleep, your food intake, or diet, right? But like just your habits basically form around it, and it pretty much becomes like your groove, kind of just how you do things.
Yeah.
Wait, how long does it take? Because I heard daily habits are like really hard to change.
I would say, I mean, it depends, bro. Because
and you'll be in the rhythm of it for sure.
75 days?
Yeah, it's an app. It's called 75 Hard. You gotta work out.
I think they say it takes 3 weeks to build a habit, but I don't know about that.
I feel like it's got to take a little bit longer than that.
But yeah, 75 will work.
Right. Yeah, it's muscle memory at this point. Like, just second nature.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a point you want to get to. But I think that's also like just so much easier when you have a consistent schedule every day. Like if you just every day work out in the morning or work out at 4 p.m., then it's like it's so much easier to do it, and then you wake up at this time and you work at this time. If you have everything the same every day, it makes it so much easier. It'll make it a lot easier to not fail. But if you have like inconsistent schedule, it's easier to fail, to not do things.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people, there's like the creative types where they're like messy, they're unorganized, they sleep in late, and like, no, it's fine. Like it helps me work. That, I guess if that works for them, that's fine. But I'm pretty much the opposite. Like, I really need to be. I've learned that if I don't like set simple, clear, concise goals, I'm probably not gonna freaking do it.
Yeah, whenever I like think about that, I get kind of like having a routine. I'm like I feel like I get like paranoid about like what if I do it for like a few years and I'm just like, damn, I should have done something else, right? I feel like you lose like the exploration and that, yeah.
No, you
Yeah,
could just
one thing I'll say though
schedule
is
the
that
expiration in.
you'll never regret working out, eating clean, staying out of trouble, like reading and writing. Those basic things, you'll never regret doing them. And almost certainly you'll regret not doing them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like those things are long. Like it's like 3 hours max of all those things combined.
Right. Like when I do 75 hard, I write 1,000 words, I read 10 pages, I do 3 45-minute workouts. And as long as that stuff's done, I feel like the free time that I do have is like so much more valuable. Because like I can actually relax with like having work done.
Yeah. Yeah, man, cherish that, man. Cherish that shit. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna ask you a question. What the fuck? What is you? Can you repeat what you just said like 3 seconds ago?
I was talking
Before you
about,
said, yeah, go.
yeah, I was talking about how you won't regret doing those things and how those are my daily goals for 75 hard. And the creative types who like they're messy and unorganized, but they say it's like part of their creative process.
Yeah. Nah, I honestly forgot what I was gonna say.
It's all right.
But yeah, a routine is good, bro. Do if you wake up and sleep at the same time every day, and start working out every day and all that shit, you will feel so much happier and better. Oh, I was gonna say, what do you think about like partying and shit like that, though? What's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I kind of guys definitely can do it and like it can be fine and stuff. I'm kind of maybe a little bit further away from that than maybe some other people would be. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't like go out much, but I don't know. If guys can do that and it's part of their program, that's fine. But personally, I think I don't know. I think drinking just like leads to trouble. I think it's honestly just more trouble than it's worth. And that pretty much goes for partying in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, there was a point in my life where like I studied super hard. Like I spent all my free time doing it, and I kind of regret it. Kind of wish I like spent more time like going to parties and stuff.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that
I
for
mean,
sure.
I could see that. I did party a lot when I was younger, and maybe that's it. I had my fair share of it. Now I'm like, don't do it at all. But I don't know, man. Like if I had been doing, I really do wish I did what I'm doing now when I was in my like early 20s. So I don't know. Maybe it's like it depends on the person,
Yeah.
but personally,
Yeah, no, I think everyone wants to obviously like one person studied and did the good
Right,
stuff, and they
right.
wish they partied, and the party guy wish he studied harder, and it's
That's
like
true. Yeah, grass is
everyone
always
always
greener.
wishes that. Yeah, kind of. But I think it depends, bro. I think it depends. For me, I've been sacrificing all that stuff, and I do feel like I want to do it. But then again, I understand it's going to be much sweeter. The victory is going to be sweeter if I just keep delaying gratification.
Yeah, especially if you do it rarely versus like doing it all the time. You appreciate it so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in the sense of like when I'm rich, there's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be pretty fun when I'm rich. Like
Yeah.
when you could party and know that, like chilling type shit, you're in a good spot.
Are you trying to retire at like 25, basically?
No, I won't retire at 25. I'll definitely probably keep, because I think the person you become to become a millionaire is not the type of person that would retire. So I probably won't retire at 25. Probably like love the work at that point. Hopefully, I've got so much habits and become that person. But
Wait.
I want to be
I-
like million, doing at least $1 million a year. Hopefully.
Wait, are you like working to not work? Like, do you not have the purpose in the work you're doing?
I mean, this is just like a lesson I've learned from other people who do it. Is like you're supposed to derive the pleasure from the work itself rather than the goals. So it's like you shouldn't just keep working with the idea of like, oh, I can't wait to not work. You should just work till because you like to work. That's the ideal scenario I would like to be. But
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
in reality, yeah, I would like to just not work. I would work to not work and retire my parent and shit like that. Buy my home, my house, stuff like that.
It's kind of a cool idea, like the guy who sets a specific dollar amount and then gets rich and just retires. Like he's got enough money for his family, himself, whatever, for the rest of his life, and he retires at like 30 and just kind of chills. Like personally, I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it like that, but it would be kind of cool. You see a guy who just like he's got his shit together, it's all taken care of, and he just like pretty much enjoys his life.
Yeah, there was this guy that talked about that, and he said how because he did that. The Alex Hormozi guy, he was like 30 or 31 or something. He did that, and he retired completely. He made like millions, but then he realized, that like it's kind of just boring. Like
I would just
you
train-
eat at all the good restaurants and you just go to the good places.
if I had all the money
Yeah,
in the world,
no, I thought of that too. It's like
just train like a pro athlete. Just be a fucking beast. Like that's, have
yeah,
you heard
bro,
of
I've thought that too. Like you'd have so much free time.
right? Have you heard of Khabib Nurmagomedov UFC fight?
Yeah, Khabib, yeah.
Yeah, he talked about how all he does is train, eat, and sleep. I'm like, bro, that's literally the ideal life. Like if money no object, I would spend my time like that. Literally just train, eat, sleep, repeat. Would be ideal.
Yeah,
It's like a monk.
change your. But I think the type of person who can do that isn't the type of person. Not that they wouldn't be. Yeah, I don't think they would do that. Honestly, the type of person who would be able to retire at that age would do that probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the type of person who could do that is completely immersed in the world of business, and they're just like, it's like how you love BJJ. They are like in love with business type shit.
I honestly wish I could
In
be like
that-
that about business, but I don't know. Just as a kid, that's like not really something that I didn't really like look up to businessmen, didn't think highly of it, but I don't know. Now that I'm older, kind of feel like I probably should try to get more interested in business.
How old are you?
31.
I mean, you're still like really young in
No,
terms
I
of
wouldn't
business.
say
You're
really
like,
young, but
really young.
yeah, fair.
Well, in the business game, yeah,
moderately
you're young.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
like I said,
people play till they're 70, 80, 90.
right. You look at like Trump, 80 years old running for president. Like it's kind of badass. What do you think about Trump? Well, okay, so I could tell by that laugh what you think about Trump, but the other guy, what do you think about Trump?
Yeah.
No, I just think it's funny that you like running for president at 80 is badass. It's like
It is.
Joe
It is
Biden
pretty
did it from a
impressive.
basement.
Think about it like this: whether you like Donald Trump or not, the dude was 76, took on the entire political establishment, and from what I heard, his campaign, he like severely outperformed Hillary Clinton in terms of like appearances and traveling and speeches and all that. I heard he was just like a literal powerhouse.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what he likes to do. That's his favorite part of being president is doing the campaigns and the rallies and getting all the love from his fans.
Yeah, so I think whether you like his policies or not, I think that's like, you could look at business like a sport, right? Like he probably burned more calories
Yeah,
than
it is.
Hillary Clinton, right? Like throughout that
It's
campaign.
it's a game. I'd say yeah, business can be looked at like a game.
Yeah,
Sport,
so from
game,
that
yeah, it is.
perspective, I think what he did was incredibly impressive.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't have enough of a idea of what that actually means. It's like, okay, wake up, have your driver drive you to the airport, get on your private jet, fly somewhere, have the driver pick you up from there, drive you to the location, and then you just give a speech. Like, I don't know how
You
stressful
want to know what
that
it's like? Do you have a
actually
job?
is. Yeah, I'm 33.
Well, what is hard for you? What are things you don't like to do?
Things I don't like boring jobs, monotony, anything that's very repetitive.
How do you feel about
What about
public speaking?
I love it. My favorite.
Okay.
right? What about exercise?
I enjoy it when I get to play like sports and stuff, but like just sitting in my little home gym, like lifting weights, gets kind of boring pretty quick. Again, it's repetitive.
Well, it'd be hard to explain, but him doing that, like him doing fucking a bunch of live shows all the time is a draining, difficult thing. I can just.
Well, that's the
I just
thing is,
know
I
that.
think that's his favorite part. So I think that's what I think if he could be president and he did nothing but rallies and shows, that's what he would do.
Yeah, I think
It's just my personal belief. He seems to love it. He seems to love the energy he gets from the crowd.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, he's in his element doing that, right? Like,
Yeah, and that's what he's good at. That's why he was a great reality TV star. That's why he's done so good with his branding. He's very good at selling himself.
he's like a stand-up comic in terms of like the way he speaks in public settings and like his timing. It's like he's just up there doing stand-up a lot of the time, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. Honestly, my biggest problem with Trump is just like the retarded coup thing he tried to do. But other than that, like he's
We don't
kind
have,
of a
we're
whatever.
having a nice conversation here. Maybe we don't even have to get into all that.
Oh, you just asked what I thought, like so I thought I'd throw it out there.
That's fine. I'm just that
Yeah, that's for sure.
the point
No
where
problem.
conversations go sideways. Yeah, crazy times we're living in, man.
Yeah. Interesting things going on everywhere.
It's true. Interesting time to be alive. Well, I heard someone put it really well that like, what is it? Sometimes decades pass without much. No, I'm gonna butcher this quote. And then like, basically the idea that like sometimes decades pass without much happening, and then sometimes within just like a short period of time, it's like decades happen.
Yeah.
I feel like especially over the last like the last 7 years, 2016 to 2023, it's like an entire century
Yes.
of history has happened. Like it's just
Right? Yeah. It's like we used up an entire generation in just like a handful of years. Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a Lenin quote. There are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think that's true because I mean, you have that happen in your own life, right? Like you have times when there's like a lot of nothing, and then you'll have like 1 month where everything happens.
Right. There was like the whole Trump thing. There's COVID. Now we're World War III could be happening now with Russia. Like it's just
Oh yeah, Trump and COVID and this whole time. It's almost like 9/11. You know, like remember 9/11? How like the world became a different place after that.
right.
It's like we had another one of those events where like the world is a different place now than it was in 2015, 2014, and we're just never going to go back to that old world.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the world before 9/11 like? I'm young.
It was just a different vibe. It was a different vibe,
From my understanding,
geopolitically.
From
Yeah,
my
but you don't feel
understanding, you could-
geopolitics, right?
getting on a plane, from my understanding, was basically like getting on a bus. Like, you know how nowadays there's like crazy uptight security? I guess people used to pretty much just like walk onto planes, which is like inconceivable to me.
I mean, that seems like
It's also like Columbine. Columbine was an event that like shook the nation, and we were talking about it for like years. But now school shootings happen all the time, and it's kind of normalized.
well, didn't school shootings happen before Columbine? That's how.
It did they? I mean, that was the first big one I remember, and I was pretty young when that happened.
Yeah, I heard it was like the start of its media prevalency, but school shootings happened before.
Yeah, see, so it's one of those things where it's like maybe the world was like that the whole time, and we just didn't know, or maybe things did get more intense. It's hard to tell, but I definitely know that before 9/11, no one really expected a terrorist attack. It's something that happened here and there. You'd get like a crazy bomber on a plane, or you know, if you did have a hijacking, it was usually for money, not for like to crash the plane into something. And so it gave everybody, it just put everybody more on edge.
But what about like there was like a huge terrorist attack in like a car bomb in like a parking garage somewhere? No,
It was
Are you talking
Oklahoma
about
City
the
bombings.
one at the Trade Center?
the Trade Center.
Yeah, the World Trade Center. Before 9/11, there was a bomb in the basement in a van, I think. Someone tried to
Yeah,
blow it up.
probably.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
like stuff like that happened, but that didn't do anything. Like that didn't bring the building down. It wasn't a big thing. I think the biggest one before that was like the Oklahoma City bombing
Right.
with those farm boys who went and blew up that hospital, right?
Yeah, that was a big one. I think one
That
major
was like the
difference about-
biggest thing I remember.
one major difference about 9/11 too was the way it changed like surveillance and security laws within the US. I think part of that is just coinciding.
I was
with,
just
like-
thinking that Patriot Act and how we felt about it.
Right. I think part of that's just coinciding with like the evolution of technology, that like the technology wasn't really there before. But yeah, it was yeah, exactly, the Patriot Act. That was a major change.
And people's feelings towards it, because like before, it just you didn't think the government was gonna like spy on you or like pull you in to do something shady. We kind of had more trust, just in general.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more distrust.
But even in the 90s, my parents were less trustful than my grandparents were. Like my grandparents, the kids would just go out and play with the fucking kids and run off and come back before the sun comes down. But then with my parents, it's like, oh, you can only go this far, and when the streetlights turn on, it's time to come home. And we've just like slowly gotten more like paranoid.
Right. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's the internet, the fact that we have so much information that we're bombarded with like fear
Yeah, I could see that.
and advertising, because they want to convince you that the world is scary so that they can be the answer, whether that's politics or, you know, products.
Yeah, kind of tying into that, I think technology in general is causing people to kind of withdraw.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's like I agree, definitely, like they call it doom scrolling, right? Where like people are alone with the
Oh,
internet.
yeah.
People are alone with the internet and they're seeing all this crazy shit happening, causes them to like become, you know, withdrawn and more scared. That's definitely part of it. But I've heard this term, the retreat into the digital. Basically, as technology develops, people are just going to be spending more and more and more and more time on the internet, which obviously means like less time outside. So
Right.
that's a weird trend.
Yeah,
man,
I
to
think that's
about,
inevitable.
like, to think about where that's going to be like a couple of decades from now, people are just going to be, it's going to be like the Matrix, dude, where like the people who have no discipline are just going to be vegetating hooked up with like electrodes to like fucking Mark Zuckerberg's Meta.
I am so down. Hook me up right now.
Well, well, I feel like the answer is to like integrate the internet into more of our lives, because the internet is like we're not going like the internet isn't going away, right?
I
Yeah.
agree. You gotta
I had
invest in
another
it.
thought too. Is I think people used to have more close friends and more community than they did now. I think people have replaced some of their real life relationships with like parasocial relationships. So you have like your three best friends, but then you also have like your two favorite creators that those are the people you end up spending the most time with.
Yeah, that's true. That's part of why I'm here now, actually, is I've spent so much time going back and forth about how to use social media. I've kind of settled on the idea that, like, it's not going anywhere. So this idea of me going back to my habits before I used social media, probably not going to happen. So I've kind of gone the opposite direction where I'm like, maybe I should, like, make a project out of this and, like, start streaming. So that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Yeah, for me, there's a lot of that too. Because the last time I was really big on the internet, it was like early 2000s. So since I used to be on the internet all the time, and now like everybody got online.
Right. Yeah, everyone's there and they're there to stay.
hmm It's easier. It's more convenient. I had a conversation with like a dude in Germany and a dude in Iran yesterday.
Mhm. Now, I've definitely learned a
Wow.
lot. Like a lot of my hobbies, things I learned directly from the internet, like jujitsu, hybrid training, um, you know, like I mean streaming, obviously the podcasting and stuff. It's all pretty much directly from the internet.
Yep.
Bro, link your stream, man. Are you not gonna market yourself?
Do
I
it.
mean, at this point, I'm not even concerned with really doing that. I'm pretty much just practicing.
Good.
Yeah.
That's just gonna make you better, but it's still worth it, especially when someone asks.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look me up, it's Brennan Casey on YouTube.
Mm. Yeah, were you the one talking about Hermosi?
No, that was the other guy.
Gotcha. That dude's ripped too. He probably has good workout training.
Yeah, I've seen that from the photos.
uh, but yeah, that's awesome. If that's what you love doing, it's great that you get to spend a lot of time doing it.
Hmm.
Wait, are you the Breno show guy?
Huh?
Do you do the Breno show?
The Brennan show?
Never mind. I try to search for Brennan Casey on YouTube, and it comes up some guy doing the Breno show like every week, and it's like a sock puppet show.
That is not me. What is your name on Discord?
What? It's Krill.
Crow. Okay, let me message you now. That is my ad on YouTube. There you go.
Wait, you can't put it in like there's like a voice chat, like a text chat of the voice channel.
Oh, really? Let me see here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like if you,
sweet. You're learning how to use Discord too. I'm pretty new to Discord as well.
Right.
if you
So what,
scroll
do I-
over general lobby, scroll over to the
Oh, I
general
see.
lobby title,
I see.
right?
Cool. Thank you for that.
General lobby too. Hey, what's up with these locked rooms? What are they? Nathan's room and T1 through 5?
Well, if you think about it, if you're going to have a Discord, you may want some to be public, but you want some that you can restrict who has access to, right?
Okay, so these are like Destiny's rooms that he uses for certain things that
I would
his
imagine,
moderators get to decide who has access to.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, those are the channels because sometimes on streams, like people wait in those rooms and he'll bring him in to
Ooh.
talk to him.
Gotcha. That's how it works. Beautiful. Good to know.
So do you guys watch a lot of Destiny's content?
Yeah, I've actually been a pretty new watcher, so I've been kind of mainlining him for the last few months or so.
Okay. My main interest in Destiny is that I understand he's a leftist, but he at least seems to want to like understand the conservative side, and like he has some conservative views. So I really try to find people who can like balance the left and the right, conservative, progressive thing. And he doesn't. I mean, I don't think he would say he's like totally balanced, right? I think he claims to be like.
No, he knows that he's on the left. He says that he's to the left of Bill Maher. So Bill Maher's still on the left, but to the right of him, or he's around Bill Maher. That's what he said.
Yeah, but from my understanding, he still like has some conservative views, and at least he says stuff that seems to trigger people on the left. So that's kind of why.
What would you consider yourself?
I don't know. I really genuinely like, as I pay more attention to politics, I really want to like balance both. Like, I know it's kind of a cop out, but like I feel like both sides have some good things to say. So that's kind of my perspective. It's like the yin and the yang, right? Like that's kind
yes,
of
we need each other.
Right.
We're stronger together. I consider myself like slightly left of center. I tend to agree with the leftists on like, gay rights, abortion, a lot of the social issues, but at the same time, I think a lot of their stuff is retarded. So I very slightly left of center.
Exactly. And like for me, I do jujitsu, and in my gym there are people of all different kinds of political affiliations, and like I get along with pretty much everyone in the gym. So I
have a lot of conservatives and Republicans and Trump supporters like in the family. So yeah, they're just people. They might think about things the way differently than I do, but all of their concerns are real legitimate concerns.
Wait, like how far left are you? Are you like a socialist?
I said I'm slightly left of center. So I imagine that I'm like brushing up against the moderate middle, but I just, like I said, I tend to, like gay marriage is fine. So I tend to end up agreeing with the Democrats more often than not, or more often than the Republicans, at least, as far as politics go, like the actual politics, not internet politics.
I feel like the people who watch Destiny, I'm surprised that they're not weirder when I'm on this server. Because Destiny is like, it's pretty weird now.
I feel like it's a mix. I feel like I either get the weirdest people or the most reasonable people. No in between.
Because like Destiny has the whole thing about like pedophilia and like incest and like.
What do you?
Well, if you actually listen to him, it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation, and it's almost like his shit test of like, if you can't have this conversation, then you probably can't handle adult conversations that make you uncomfortable.
Would you say the same thing about Vaush? Because I've seen some pretty weird clips of that guy talking about kids.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of Vaush, but I saw him do this whole thing about the revolution, and I'm just like, oh, you're an idiot. You're like a LARPer. Like you're cosplaying the revolution.
Yeah, I think the FBI should probably check Vaush's hard drive. Let me put it to you like that.
Hey, savage. So sorry, did you have a question about Destiny's incest pedo stuff? Or was that more of just like throwing it out there?
Give me what is that called? TLDR?
Yeah, TLDR. So for the incest thing is he says that there's a conversation and he wants to see how someone thinks about morality. So if you had a situation where two people were engaging in incest, they were never going to have children, and there was no gross power dynamics.
Does he not know?
There's no gross power dynamics. Would you see that as morally okay or morally not okay?
Bro, I'm not even touching that one.
See, that's the question. Is like, hey, will you engage with this topic in good faith and think about things that are maybe uncomfortable to think about?
You know what? Life is short. My attention is finite. I don't really need to. It's kind of like flat Earth.
For me,
I'll let other people handle debating the finer points of those things. How about that?
Right. For me, I feel like I have a very similar like communication style to Destiny, or there's something me and him I think it's maybe because we're both ADHD, but I find talking about these interesting, weird, controversial conversations, that's like my jujitsu. That's the thing I want to spend all day training, because I find these kind of ideas fascinating, and how people process them is fascinating.
Yeah, but I feel like that's already gonna vet out like 94% of people. Like they're just gonna think you're a fucking weirdo if you talk about this stuff.
Yeah,
If-
like hello.
If
have you-
94
hello, sir. Can I please ask you about incest? It's like, come on.
Well, here's my thing: is like if you really make your decision based on one clip, because Jesse's been streaming for 12 years. So if you make your entire decision and you're not going to change your mind based on one clip where he talked about one of these things, then fuck it. That 6% of people is probably the best 6% of people, and I only want to hang out with them. Because those are the people who are actually listening and trying to engage in good faith.
To each their own.
Really? Like, do you not think that even the weird, awkward stuff needs to be talked about, figured out, and decided on by somebody?
I'll let other people who are more motivated to figure that stuff out. You guys can handle that. How about that?
Yeah, I feel like
There you
most
go.
they're just gonna go by social norms, right?
I do think most people go by social norms, and I think that's the tragedy of it. Because some of our social norms are awesome, and some of our social norms are electrocuting homosexuals because they're homosexual, and we think we can turn them gay with electricity, or turn them straight with electricity. So, like, it depends on time, place, and what the idea is for how much I'm going to engage or not engage. Like, right? Some social norms are evil. Slavery used to be a social norm.
Still is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, there's plenty of places in the world where slavery is still alive and well. So, like, is this really the worst thing to be talking about?
So, what other podcasters do you guys listen to?
So I first saw Destiny on Lex Friedman. I don't watch a lot of him, but if he has an interesting guest, I will always tune in.
Oh, you're like a newbie.
Yeah, so the first thing I ever saw is he did a video with Preston Jacobs, and I kind of liked him. Like, he seemed fine. But then I saw the Lex Friedman thing, and that's when I kind of jumped on and started, like, mainlining a lot of his stuff and looking at some old stuff and seeing what he's about.
Yeah, Lex Friedman is interesting. He has all kinds of people on. I don't know how he got put in that position where he's like, all of a sudden he's just having
Because he's awesome.
Yeah, I mean he is pretty interesting. Got that jiu-jitsu black belt. But
All right, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, a computer scientist, a musician, and he does all of these things good enough to be at a professional level. So, like, just in that, you're already going to draw a unique and diverse group of people.
right. And he certainly does have the sort of like Tim Ferriss's podcast where, like, it's like a who's who of all these, like, really famous, successful people have been on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Joe Rogan's stuff. I listen to him.
Yeah,
I know, I guess he's somewhat controversial, even though he's the most popular. Don't know how that works.
I like his podcast, but a lot of the time it's like most of the time when he has like a comic on, I just don't give a shit. I'm like not interested. But
Oh, really? I love stand-up comedy, so I will always watch the comic ones, but I never watch the MMA ones. Or